You pick magnets up. They feel ordinary, first. Cold, quiet, harmless objects. Then something happens. You push them closer. Something invisible resists you. You push harder. The resistance increases suddenly. Your fingers feel pressure. There is nothing visible. Nothing touching directly, physically. Yet force appears clearly. Then you flip one. Suddenly, everything changes direction. They snap together violently. No hesitation exists anymore. No gradual resistance remains. Only sudden attraction appears. This moment raises questions. Deep, unavoidable questions appear? Questions humans always ask. What is this force? What causes this behavior? What actually exists there? Richard Feynman explained something important. He explained how questions work. He explained where explanations stop. He said explanations depend. They depend on assumptions. They depend on foundations accepted. Without foundation, nothing holds. Without stopping point, endless falling. Questions continue forever downward. He gave simple example. A woman slips outside. She breaks her hip. Someone asks why. Answer seems very simple. She slipped on ice. Then deeper question appears. Why did slipping happen? Ice surface feels slippery. That seems obvious. Everyone accepts this explanation. Nobody questions further usually. But deeper curiosity continues. Why ice feels slippery? Something unexpected appears here. Pressure melts ice surface. Tiny water layer appears. Sliding happens on water. But question continues again. Why pressure melts ice? Answer becomes more unusual. Water expands freezing. Most substances shrink freezing. Water behaves differently instead. Pressure reverses expansion slightly. Melting becomes energetically favorable. Surface becomes liquid briefly. But question continues deeper. Why water expands freezing? Now explanation becomes complex. Atomic structure determines behavior. Molecular bonds arrange differently. Energy balance determines structure. But explanation never ends. Each answer creates questions. Each layer reveals deeper mystery. Eventually explanation must stop. Eventually foundation must exist. Eventually something becomes accepted. Feynman explained this clearly. He explained magnetism similarly. He warned against cheating explanations. People want familiar comparisons. They want rubber bands analogy. They want mechanical pictures. They want something visual, something they already understand, something emotionally comfortable. But Feynman warned carefully. Such explanations mislead understanding. They only delay mystery. Rubber bands pull objects. But question appears immediately. Why rubber bands pull? Answer involves molecules. Molecules involve electrical forces. Electrical forces create elasticity. Now explanation becomes circular. Mystery explains same mystery. Understanding does not improve. It only feels satisfying. But satisfaction hides ignorance. Real understanding remains unchanged. Feynman refused dishonest comfort. He preferred honest mystery. He preferred fundamental truth. He said magnetism fundamental. It cannot reduce further. It explains other phenomena. Everything else depends here. Chemistry depends entirely here. Biology depends on chemistry. Matter structure depends electromagnetism. Objects resist compression electromagnetically. Solidity emerges electromagnetically. Even touching explained here. Touch feels completely physical. But touching never happens. Atoms never truly touch. Electrons repel other electrons. Repulsion creates resistance sensation. Your hand stops moving. Table stops your hand. Force prevents overlap physically. This feels completely normal. Nobody questions this daily. Nobody notices strange nature. Yet magnets reveal same force. Same electrons interact here. Same fundamental interaction exists. Difference exists perception only. Tables feel familiar always. Magnets feel unfamiliar sometimes. Familiarity hides deeper mystery. Repetition removes curiosity slowly. Mind stops asking questions. But reality remains strange. Reality remains deeply mysterious. Reality operates invisibly always. Feynman emphasized this truth. Ordinary objects remain mysterious. Familiarity hides deeper wonder. Magnet force reveals truth. Invisible forces exist everywhere. Invisible interactions control everything. Electromagnetic force dominates matter. It governs atomic structure. It governs molecular bonding. It governs chemical reactions. It governs biological structure. It governs physical solidity. Without electromagnetism, nothing holds. Atoms would never bind. Matter would never exist. Human bodies impossible completely. Objects impossible completely. Reality impossible completely. Feynman highlighted strength difference. Electromagnetism vastly stronger gravity. Difference beyond human imagination. Gravity feels dominant daily. Gravity holds planets together. Gravity controls cosmic motion. Yet electromagnetism stronger enormously. Stronger beyond comprehension scale. Stronger by unimaginable factor. Why gravity dominates perception? Because electromagnetic forces cancel. Positive-negative charges balance. Atoms remain electrically neutral. Forces cancel perfectly normally. Net force disappears macroscopically. Gravity never cancels similarly. Gravity always adds together. Gravity accumulates across mass. Electromagnetism hides quietly. Gravity reveals itself clearly. This creates illusion dominance. But electromagnetism truly dominates. It controls microscopic reality. Microscopic reality defines everything. Feynman emphasized hidden power. He explained invisible dominance. He explained unseen foundation. He explained magnets clearly. Iron behaves differently specifically. Electron spins align cooperatively. Most materials remain random. Electron spins cancel collectively. Magnetic effect disappears completely. Iron behaves unusually instead. Electron spins align directionally. Alignment creates cumulative effect. Individual effects combine together. Small effects amplify enormously. Macroscopic magnet emerges visibly. This alignment creates magnetism. This alignment creates force. This alignment creates interaction. Feynman explained deeper level. Electrons constantly interact dynamically. They exchange virtual photons. These photons invisible completely. They exist temporarily only. They mediate electromagnetic force. Exchange creates attraction forces. Exchange creates repulsion forces. Exchange creates electromagnetic interaction. This happens constantly everywhere. Inside magnets continuously always. Inside matter continuously always. Reality consists interactions. Reality consists exchanges constantly. Reality consists dynamic processes. Nothing remains static ever. Everything interacts continuously always. Everything exchanges continuously always. Feynman emphasized fundamental simplicity. Everything emerges from interactions. Everything emerges from exchanges. Complex reality emerges simply. Simple rules create complexity. Simple interactions create universe. Magnetism reveals this truth. Magnetism reveals fundamental reality. Magnetism reveals hidden structure. He said important truth. Magnetism explains familiar reality, not opposite direction instead. Magnetism explains touching sensation. Magnetism explains solidity completely. Magnetism explains physical resistance. Magnetism explains material structure. Magnetism explains atomic bonding. Magnetism explains molecular behavior. Familiar world emerges here. Familiar sensations emerge here. Familiar reality emerges here. Magnetism not special case. Magnetism fundamental foundation. Magnetism explains physical existence. This realization changes perspective. This realization changes understanding. This realization changes everything. Feynman wanted honesty always. He avoided misleading pictures. He avoided false simplifications. He preferred truthful explanation. Even when uncomfortable intellectually. Even when mysterious fundamentally. He emphasized honest ignorance. Ignorance exists naturally always. Ignorance motivates scientific progress. Understanding grows gradually. Understanding grows experimentally. Understanding grows through curiosity. Magnetism remains fundamental. Magnetism remains irreducible. Magnetism remains foundational. It cannot reduce further. It explains other phenomena. Nothing explains it further. This becomes stopping point. This becomes foundational layer. This becomes accepted reality. Feynman explained this clearly. Magnetism represents fundamental force. Magnetism represents reality foundation. And this was beginning. Not ending explanation instead. Beginning deeper understanding. Feynman then went deeper. He revealed something extraordinary. Something almost impossible imagining. He said electrons moving. Not physically moving always, but interacting constantly always. They exchange invisible messengers. Messengers called virtual photons. These photons carry force. Not visible light photons. Not detectable directly ever. Only mathematical reality exists. Yet their effects measurable. Their consequences absolutely real. Their influence undeniable everywhere. When magnets approach closer, electrons begin exchanging messengers. Exchange creates observable force. Not touching physically ever. Not connecting mechanically directly. Only exchanging information constantly. This exchange creates interaction. Interaction creates force perception. Force perception creates resistance. Feynman explained remarkable simplicity. Everything emerges from exchange. Everything emerges from interaction. Only three actions exist. Electron emits photon. Electron absorbs photon. Electron changes position. Photon travels between electrons. Interaction completes exchange cycle. These three actions fundamental. Nothing deeper exists below. Nothing simpler exists below. From these emerge everything. Chemistry emerges from interactions. Biology emerges from chemistry. Matter structure emerges interactions. Physical reality emerges interactions. Entire universe emerges interactions. Feynman emphasized this beauty. Simplicity creates infinite complexity. Simple rules create reality. He compared familiar experiences. Touching objects feels solid. Objects feel impenetrable always. But this illusion exists. Nothing touches truly ever. Atoms never contact directly. Electron clouds repel strongly. Repulsion prevents overlap completely. This creates solidity illusion. Your hand stops moving. Table stops your hand. Electromagnetism creates resistance. Not physical contact directly. Only force interaction exists. Only electromagnetic repulsion exists. This realization profound completely. Reality different perception. Reality different intuition. Feynman explained strength difference. Electromagnetism enormously powerful. Far stronger than gravity. Gravity feels dominant daily. Gravity keeps feet grounded. Gravity controls falling motion. But electromagnetism stronger massively. Difference almost unimaginable scale. Difference beyond comprehension scale. Yet gravity dominates perception. Because electromagnetic forces cancel. Charges balance almost perfectly. Positive-negative charges balance. Net electromagnetic force disappears. Macroscopic neutrality achieved naturally. Gravity never cancels similarly. Gravity accumulates always together. Gravity dominates large scales. But electromagnetism dominates structure. Electromagnetism builds atomic structure. Electromagnetism builds molecular structure. Electromagnetism builds material reality. Electromagnetism builds physical objects. Electromagnetism builds biological systems. Feynman revealed deeper mystery. Atoms contain enormous force, force hidden through balance. Small imbalance reveals power. Rubbing removes few electrons. Static electricity becomes visible. Tiny imbalance creates attraction. Paper moves unexpectedly suddenly. Invisible force becomes visible. This reveals hidden strength. This reveals hidden dominance. This reveals hidden reality. Feynman explained magnetic materials. Iron behaves uniquely differently. Electron spins a line cooperatively. Each electron tiny magnet. Usually directions random completely. Randomness cancels total effect. Iron behaves differently instead. Electron spins a line directionally. Alignment creates cumulative effect. Individual effects combine together. Combined effect becomes measurable. Measurable effect becomes magnet. Copper behaves differently completely. Electron spins remain random. Randomness prevents magnet formation. Same electrons exist copper. Same physics exists copper. But alignment missing copper. Alignment determines magnetism existence. Alignment determines magnetic strength. Alignment determines magnetic behavior. Feynman used simple analogy. Crowd represents electrons collectively. Individual voices represent spins. Random shouting creates noise. Noise carries no message. Noise travels short distance. Unified chanting creates signal. Signal travels enormous distance. Alignment creates amplification effect. Iron behaves unified crowd. Copper behaves random crowd. Difference creates magnetism existence. Feynman then explained technology. Human civilization uses magnetism. Modern world depends magnetism. Electric generators use magnetism. Motors use magnetism constantly. Power grids use magnetism. Electricity generation depends magnetism. Electricity transmission depends magnetism. Electricity utilization depends magnetism. Generator converts motion electricity. Motion creates magnetic variation. Variation moves electrons wire. Electron motion creates current. Current carries energy distance. Energy powers civilization everywhere. Feynman emphasized incredible connection. Mechanical motion creates electricity. Electricity creates mechanical motion. Conversion happens seamlessly. Conversion happens reliably always. Conversion happens predictably always. This reciprocity fundamental law. Electricity creates magnetism. Magnetism creates electricity. James Clerk Maxwell unified. He unified electricity-magnetism. He unified electromagnetic theory. Maxwell equations describe interactions. Equations predict electromagnetic behavior. Equations predict electromagnetic waves. Light itself electromagnetic wave. Radio waves electromagnetic waves. All electromagnetic radiation unified. Feynman admired this achievement. He called revolutionary discovery. He called fundamental transformation. Human understanding changed permanently. Technology development accelerated massively. Civilization transformed completely. Feynman emphasized predictive power. Theory predicts experimental results. Predictions match observations precisely. Accuracy exceeds imagination limits. Accuracy beyond human intuition. Accuracy beyond other sciences. Theory predicts electron magnetism. Experiments confirm predictions exactly. Agreement reaches extraordinary precision. Precision, almost unbelievable scale. Precision verifies theory correctness. Precision confirms fundamental understanding. Feynman emphasized experimental truth. Physics-based experimental verification. Experiment determines theoretical validity. Not philosophy alone sufficient. Not intuition alone sufficient. Only experiment determines truth. If predictions match experiments. Theory considered correct description. Reality described accurately mathematically. Even without visual understanding. Even without intuitive picture. Mathematics describes reality accurately. Feynman admitted limitation honestly. Human intuition limited evolutionarily. Brain evolved macroscopic understanding. Quantum reality behaves differently. Quantum reality defies intuition. Quantum reality defies visualization. Electrons not tiny spheres. Electrons not tiny planets. Electrons not classical objects. Electrons behave probabilistically. Electrons behave mathematically. Electrons behave abstractly fundamentally. No simple picture exists. No mechanical analogy exists. No familiar comparison exists. Only mathematical description works. Only mathematical prediction works. Only mathematical accuracy matters. Feynman emphasized honest approach. Avoid misleading visualizations. Avoid false mechanical pictures. Accept mathematical reality honestly. Accept experimental truth honestly. Accept fundamental mystery honestly. Magnetism emerges quantum interactions. Magnetism emerges electron behavior. Magnetism emerges photon exchange. This exchange never stops. This exchange continuous always. This exchange defines reality. Every atom participates constantly. Every object participates constantly. Every interaction participates constantly. Reality dynamic fundamentally. Reality interactive fundamentally. Reality interconnected fundamentally. Magnetism reveals deeper truth. Reality built invisible interactions. Reality built invisible exchanges. Feynman emphasized foundational nature. Magnetism explains familiar experiences. Magnetism explains physical reality. Touch explained magnetism. Solidity explained magnetism. Structure explained magnetism. Nothing exists independently. Everything depends electromagnetism. Everything depends interactions. This understanding profound completely. This understanding transformative intellectually. This understanding changes perspective. Magnetism not isolated phenomenon. Magnetism universal interaction. Magnetism fundamental reality. And yet deeper mystery remained. Feynman then revealed mystery. A number appears everywhere. A number defines reality. This number fundamental. This number unavoidable. This number unexplained completely. Physicists call constant alpha. It defines interaction strength. It defines electromagnetic intensity. Its value strange. Approximately 1 divided 137, or about 0.073 exactly. This number controls everything. It controls atomic structure. It controls chemical bonding. It controls light interaction. It controls magnetic strength. It controls material stability. If value changed slightly, reality changes completely. Atoms behave differently. Chemistry behaves differently. Matter becomes unstable possibly. Life becomes impossible likely. Feynman emphasized mystery deeply. Nobody knows origin. Nobody knows reason. It cannot derive deeper. It cannot explain further. It simply exists fundamentally. Physicists measure carefully. Experiments confirm precise value. Mathematics accepts measured value. But origin unknown completely. Reason unknown completely. Explanation unknown completely. Feynman called mysterious number. He called magical number. he called profound mystery. He said, nobody understands. Nobody explains existence. Nobody predicts value independently. Yet everything depends here. Entire universe depends here. Reality stability depends here. This disturbed physicists deeply. Nature contains unexplained constants. Nature contains unexplained foundations. Feynman accepted honestly. Not everything explainable currently. Not everything understandable completely. Physics describes behavior successfully. Physics predicts outcomes accurately. Physics enables technological progress, but ultimate origin unknown. Ultimate explanation incomplete. Ultimate understanding unfinished. Feynman emphasized experimental success. Prediction accuracy extraordinary level. Agreement between theory experiment remarkable. Precision exceeds imagination. Precision exceeds engineering capability. Precision verifies theoretical correctness. Electron magnetic strength predictable. Predictions match measurements perfectly. Agreement almost exact completely. Feynman admired predictive power. He trusted experimental confirmation. He trusted mathematical consistency. Even without visualization. Even without intuition. Even without mechanical explanation. Mathematics describes correctly. Experiment confirms correctly. Reality behaves predictably. Feynman explained renormalization discovery. Earlier calculations failed completely. Equations produced infinite answers. Infinity meaningless physically. Infinity indicates incomplete understanding. Physicists confused deeply initially. Solution discovered eventually. Solution changed theoretical approach. Solution resolved infinities successfully. Physicists realized measurement importance. Bare electron unobservable directly. Only interacting electron observable. Interactions modify electron properties. Interactions include photon exchanges. Interactions affect measured values. Renormalization absorbs infinities. Renormalization produces finite answers. Renormalization matches experiments precisely. Some physicists uncomfortable initially. Method seemed artificial possibly. Method seemed mathematical trick. But experimental confirmation decisive. Predictions matched observations perfectly. Agreement confirmed theoretical validity. Feynman accepted pragmatic approach. If predictions correct experimentally, theory considered valid description. Physics not philosophical exercise. Physics experimental discipline fundamentally. Experiment determines theoretical acceptance. Feynman emphasized practical understanding. Understanding means predicting outcomes. Understanding means controlling behavior, not necessarily visualizing mechanisms, not necessarily imagining pictures, not necessarily simplifying reality. Reality complex fundamentally. Reality abstract fundamentally. Reality mathematical fundamentally. Human intuition limited evolutionarily. Brain evolved survival purposes. Brain evolved macroscopic perception. Quantum reality different scale. Quantum reality different behavior. Quantum reality different structure. Expecting intuitive understanding unrealistic. Expecting familiar pictures unrealistic. Expecting mechanical analogies unrealistic. Mathematics provides accurate description. Mathematics provides predictive power. Mathematics provides reliable understanding. Feynman emphasized honest humility. Nature more complex imagination. Nature more subtle intuition. Magnetism reveals profound truth. Reality built invisible interactions. Reality built mathematical structure. Not mechanical gears underneath. Not hidden machinery underneath. Only fundamental interactions exist. Electron emits photon. Photon travels distance. Electron absorbs photon. These actions sufficient. These actions fundamental. These actions universal. Everything emerges here. Chemistry emerges here. Biology emerges here. Matter emerges here. Structure emerges here. Reality emerges here. Feynman emphasized ultimate truth. Magnetism explains familiar experiences. Magnetism explains physical world. Touch explained magnetism. Solidity explained magnetism. Resistance explained magnetism. Every object interaction electromagnetic. Every physical sensation electromagnetic. Every material property electromagnetic. Humans immersed electromagnetic ocean. Reality electromagnetic structure. Universe electromagnetic interaction network. Magnetism not special phenomenon. Magnetism fundamental interaction. Magnetism reality foundation. Feynman returned original question. Why magnets attract exactly? Why magnets repel exactly? Answer exists fundamentally. Electrons exchange photons, spins align cooperatively. Electromagnetic interaction emerges. Force appears observable. Behavior becomes predictable. Explanation stops here. Foundation reached here. Further reduction impossible. Not because ignorance exists. Not because failure exists. Because foundation reached. Electromagnetism fundamental interaction. Electromagnetism explains everything. Nothing explains electromagnetism further. Feynman emphasized intellectual honesty. Accept fundamental reality. Accept fundamental mystery. Science describes behavior accurately. Science predicts outcomes reliably. Science enables technological progress. But ultimate why remains. Ultimate origin remains mystery. Ultimate explanation remains unknown. Yet understanding sufficient. Understanding enables civilization. Understanding enables technology. Power plants generate electricity. Motors convert electricity motion. Devices operate electromagnetic principles. Modern civilization depends electromagnetism. Technology depends electromagnetism. Human progress depends electromagnetism. Feynman admired this achievement. Humanity discovered fundamental laws. Humanity harnessed fundamental forces. Invisible interactions controlled practically. Invisible forces serve humanity. Invisible reality becomes useful, yet mystery remains intact. Nature retains deepest secrets. Reality retains deepest foundations. Feynman embraced this mystery. Mystery inspires curiosity. Curiosity drives scientific discovery. Magnetism reveals hidden truth. Reality stranger imagination. Reality deeper perception. Invisible forces everywhere. Invisible interactions constant. Invisible structure fundamental. Everything held electromagnetism. Everything connected electromagnetism. Everything explained electromagnetism. And this was truth. The truth Feynman revealed. The truth magnetism represents. Magnetism not mystery. Magnetism explanation itself.